Welcome to Curious Minds.
Bienvenidos a Curious Minds.
We have a very special guest.
Tenemos un visitante muy especial.
He visits us from Argentina,
Vengo de Argentina
and his name is Gino Tubaro.
y mi nombre es Gino Tubaro.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Gino is the founder of Atomic Labs, and such an amazing story he has to share. And I don't want to spoil the ending, so I'm going to start with the beginning. I'm going to start with the very beginning, okay? So you're born and raised in Argentina. Siblings?
No,
No siblings, just your mom and dad?
it's just my mom.
Just your mom, okay. So you are a curious kid, right? And how do you spend your time? I think you said it's a little bit destructive.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I always loved to disassemble things that I have in my house, like break them. So what I really love is to find what is inside all those stuff. And I was really a kid that was going around with maybe a fork or a knife, trying to hit it and break the plastic things with that. And well, yeah, for my mom, it was a really
Very
difficult, tough times.
I have nephews that were just like you, that are just like you. So as a parent, it's tough when you have a kid who is like destroying everything in the house.
Yeah.
How does your mom redirect your energy?
So she brought me to a school of inventors. It's nothing like NASA and anything. It's just a maker space that I went each Saturday. So you can see a picture, like really in the middle. That was me when I was 5, 6 years. Then there is another picture of me, like a small kid, with a printer that I disassembled, and I tried to create another printer. So for me, it was like this Saturdays was a really magic day for me because I can create whatever I want, with one thing in mind, which was trying to help someone with inventions, and that was my goal when I was a kid.
And so how old are you?
23.
So how old were you when you started this inventor camp?
Like 6 years. I did it till 16.
And so you were already thinking about others. That's really remarkable. So what is the first thing that you invented?
So it was like I don't know how to say it. You know, canicas, the balls, the small, the glasses ball, the small ones. You know, the marbles. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I created like a machine where you can sort them by colors and things, and I was, you can put a lot of them here. Then I created a thing that when I got a little bit older. You know the plugs of where you plug things on the wall?
So outlets, yeah?
The
Electrical
outlets? Sorry if I'm mistaken with some words, but so I created a thing where you put, it was like a electrical security device, where if you put things into the outlet, it will turn off, just the outlet. But I did that when I was 10 years, kind of.
10 years.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward to when you're like 16, 15, 16.
Yeah.
You make a really remarkable invention. You decide to create your own 3D printer, which is not this one.
No.
But in your teen years, you're like, oh, I'm just going to make a 3D printer.
Yeah, because I need a machine that can create what I had in mind, and all of my inventions were really like paper with glue and maybe other things, and they don't look really nice. So what I wanted is to have a machine that can help me to design something in the computer and then print it and like see it and touch it, and it was a really cool prototype. And that's why when I was 16, I assembled my first machine. It was based on a RAP project, which is you can use the normal 2D printers. You can disassemble them and then assemble a 3D printer with those parts.
You can take a 2D printer and convert it to a 3D printer?
With a little bit of modification and extra motors.
All right. And so initially your plan was to make them and sell them to other people,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So how did that go?
Really bad. Me and a friend wanted to sell 3D printers because in Argentina, like 6, 7 years ago, nobody knew what was a 3D printer. So we wanted to sell those machines to like a prototype machine, and nobody bought it. That's the truth. Nobody wanted to have a 3D printer 6 years ago. Nowadays, it's something different, but and it went really, really bad.
And it went really bad.
Yeah.
And as an inventor, there have to be things that don't go well.
Yeah.
So how do you rebound? Like we inside the company, we're talking about smart redesign and this concept of making rapid prototypes and failing fast. What advice can you offer us? Because that's really, it's hard to shift mindsets.
Yeah, and even more if you live in a country where you cannot get the parts that easily and quickly. You have to try once, and maybe if you try it once and you don't make it and you don't achieve something good, that thing, you're screwed. I mean, you cannot have more money to spend on anything else. So what we did was, our best tip that we can give from Atomic Lab and our project is that you always have to create something that maybe help someone. You have to be like in the other part of you have the seller, the guy that want to sell you something, and then the guy that want to create something. Like you have to see what the people want and then create something that shape that necessity, and you have to do it quickly so it can break easily and you can fix it quickly and so on and so on. But if you don't have money, it's something complicated. So you have to do it at once, at the first try. And that was our challenge like a few years ago.
Yeah. So what did you envision making with your first 3D printers?
Just to sell them.
Just to sell them?
Yeah, because we want to get money to keep creating things. I always love to invent things. And I thought that 3D printers will be something great, and even more to have in Argentina, where you can print things for schools or the kids that are learning designing, so they can print their designs really quickly, and we can sell the machine. But that was our ambitions. But something happens between that, between what we want and what someone else wants. So Felipe, this guy of Tres Algarrobos, he was 11 years old when he asked to us if we can design a prosthesis for him.
And how old is Felipe?
Felipe nowadays is 15, 16, but when he asked
when he first reached out to you, he's 11. And so how did he know about you?
Because we wanted really hard to sell 3D printers. So we share a lot of our printers and those things on Facebook, Twitter. We want to make everyone knows that we were doing 3D printers in Argentina. So it was like, guys, I don't want to buy any printer, but maybe if you can design something for me, I will really like that. And we say, yeah, we can try that.
Okay, and that turned out really well.
Yeah.
That turned out really well for you and Felipe, right? And that was the start of Atomic Labs? It was the start of Atomic Labs. So tell us about the prosthetics. You have several iterations here. I imagine they didn't look this way when you first...
That's 10 iteration, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't look this way when you first started with Felipe. I mean, prosthetics is a daunting thing. Do you have any medical background?
No, I don't.
Not necessary?
I mean, no.
No? No? Okay. So, a little bit about Felipe. So he's 11 when you meet him, and he's not fully grown.
No. He lose 5 fingers. He only have a small stump coming from the wrist, and the only movement that he can do is like up and down, like this way.
And so he doesn't currently have a prosthetic when you meet him?
No.
It's just too expensive?
In Argentina, a prosthesis is more than $10,000, up to 20 sometimes, and even the social insurance, if you want to pay it. It's so costly. It's not cheap.
So cost prohibitive for him and his family. And then the challenge, of course, is that he's growing. And so the prosthetic that you get at 11 might not fit when you're 12,
Exactly.
or it's certainly not 13.
Exactly.
So it's an investment that has diminishing returns.
And you have
if you
to
can afford
spend
it.
a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And even more, there is sometimes that if you get the prosthesis through a medical insurance, it costs a little bit more because the state has to pay, and there is like a more related to prosthesis in Argentina.
So they do okay.
And then they put a lot of, it's more pricey because people get money from the necessity of others.
All right, so you're starting out in ground zero. You have this kid that you don't know that says, hey, help me create a prosthesis. Where do you begin?
So we asked him a picture of the stamp, and the thing was, thanks for him and the mother of Felipe, she sent us a picture of the stamp, like over a piece of paper, but you know the math one that has the squares on it?
The graphs?
Yeah.
Graph paper?
So we use that paper and we take the measures, like because we saw each of the squares.
Wow.
And that was the main thing that we have in the Atomic Lab, the main like technology advance that we made. Because with that picture, we create a prosthesis based on just squares on a piece of paper that a guy sent to us like 500 kilometers away. We never met Felipe face to face, and we just got a picture of the stamp. And with that picture, we designed the first prototype that was really bad prototype. It really break easily. But that was our start. We start with just a piece of paper, and we wanted to do something that helped him.
All right. So a lot has happened since then. You have a video clip, right?
Yeah,
Do you want
I do.
to play the video clip?
So I hope that you enjoy this video, guys.
Inventor and social entrepreneur Gino Tubaro had a dream. He wanted to create affordable prosthetics for those in need. The result was Atomic Lab, an organization that uses 3D printing to make artificial limbs for children and others. After learning about Gino's work, Ford Argentina and the Ford Motor Company Fund joined Atomic Lab for a special project, ultimately traveling 25,000 kilometers across Argentina, printing 3D prosthetic hands and delivering them to hundreds of people.
Well, you know, it's just amazing to see the reaction of the young boy here today who got it, and you could just see, you know, how emotional he was, and his mom told us of, you know, how long he's been waiting and counting the days and the hours and the minutes to get this. And, you know, whenever you can do something that's really transformational and changes someone's life, I don't think life really gets any better than that, and Gino and his team have done an amazing job.
Children like Gabriel enjoy going to kindergarten and dancing. Mauricio can do bike stands again. And Roman has something to smile about. Many more, just like them, could fulfill their dreams. Because of his impact on the community, Ford Argentina donated a Ford Ranger to the Atomic Labs team. Ford Fund also recognized Gino as the 2019 Ford Fund Social Entrepreneurship Ambassador, along with a grant of $25,000.
Es un premio que entregaron por primera vez acá en Argentina y nos lo acaban de dar a nosotros, al equipo, por todas las cosas que venimos haciendo. Vinieron directamente desde la Fundación de Estados Unidos a ver el proyecto y la verdad es que cuando nos entregaron el premio fue como oh, buenísimo, no, era una... Todavía no tengo palabras como para describir la emoción que nos dio a nosotros, a mí, y la verdad es que es un gran motivador para seguir laburando.
Ford Fund, building stronger communities and making lives better.
Oh yeah. That was how we get together, guys, to meet each other.
And that's what brought you here.
Yeah.
And we have the Ford Fund some of people from Fort Fund are in the audience that helped bring you to Dearborn this week, actually.
Yeah.
And so you were recognized with the award, which is you're the first time we've ever given the award for social entrepreneurship. I'm going to unpack some of what we heard in the video, okay? So Felipe, he gets his hand. And then how does it grow from there?
So it goes really quickly because when we shared a video of Felipe using the prosthesis, everyone say, hey, wow, this is amazing. Why we cannot have one? I mean, there was a lot of people that in Argentina was an amputee and required a prosthesis. And the medical in Argentina, nobody had them. So the medical insurance and those never say something about that. And they ask us for a prosthesis. And nowadays, we have a lot of people sign up and required for a prosthesis. More than 5,000 people ask for it.
5,000 people.
Yeah.
But you've already served quite a few people. How many prostheses have you
We have
put
already
out?
given like 1,000 prostheses, all of them for free, in many countries.
So the recipient and their family, not any currency, no money is exchanged.
No, nothing at all. We don't charge anything for them. I mean, we don't care if you have money or if you don't have money. We don't want to make anything like, we don't care about money. I mean, if you need help, we provide that prosthesis for you no matter what.
So these kids, you're giving them back some functionality. You're literally changing their lives. And it's interesting that you're calling them that they're creating superheroes.
Yeah.
Tell us how they respond when they get to interact with you.
So the idea was, I mean, we can provide a prosthesis based on a football team, for example, or any other colors. But for them, it's just to grab something, it's like riding a bike and those activities. But what happens if we help them to feel like Iron Man, for example, to be a superhero? And the idea was, let's make a change, not only in the physical way, but also in the psychological way. Let's change their mindset, and also from like the students around them, the families, and those who see like a disability, about things. Maybe why don't you see like you have a super ability, not a disability. So that was the idea behind it, and a lot of kids love it, how to being wearing a superheroes. And I'm gonna show you like you can make modifications to the prosthesis, and you can have like a disc shutter in the prosthesis. So you really are like a superhero. So.
And so they get to pick their color scheme?
Yeah.
They get to pick their color scheme, and then they learn about different functionalities that they can do with it. So what does the average prosthesis allow them to do? Like how much can it articulate? What is the range?
You mean the 3D printer or the normal ones?
The 3D printed ones.
The 3D printer, well, you can use the prosthesis like as I told you. If you lose your 5 fingers and you make this movement, the prosthesis can open and close. So, but it's not just open and close things, because you can put a pen, for example, in the fingers. Maybe we can show them.
I would love that. Okay.
We can share the prosthesis with them. So, there you go. And we are printing a part of one prosthesis that we have over there. So we hope that at the end of the talk we can assemble this one. Oh, okay. So the prosthesis, for those who lose the 5 fingers, you put it inside here, and then the only movement that you have to do is to go up and down, and the prosthesis will open and close. And then the other thing that you can do with the hand, you can put a pen like in the middle of the fingers. You see? You're gonna see it in a second. So you can put a pen and close it and use it for writing, or you can modify the prosthesis. You can take apart parts of the prosthesis and put. You're gonna see a few videos about that, but you can create whatever you want to create in the prosthesis. And what we do with that is for the kids. If you want to design something for your hand, you can do it and print it. So it's more like a STEM part of the project, science and technology, where the kids can program and create their own part of the prosthesis.
Wow. So if they don't pay any money, how does this get funded?
Mike, where are you, Mike? Show here. So Thank you, Mike.
So why don't we have our folks from the Ford Fund stand?
So, yeah, a big cheer to them. So, we have donations. We are an NGO in Argentina. So if you want to donate the cost of a prosthesis, like each hand is less than $20. So you donate the cost of the prosthesis, and maybe if you are an ambassador, that is a thing that we are going to speak later on. But if you are an ambassador, you can download the files and you can print it. And if you require the material, the only thing that the prosthesis needs is the PLA material, which is this one, and we pay that material for you. So you can print the prosthesis anywhere of the world.
So you're in Argentina.
Yeah.
You're relying on social media to kind of reach the people in need. How does the Ford Fund, not just the Ford Fund, how does the Ford Fund, the BBC, President Obama, how do they find out about you?
We learned what we did wrong with the 3D printer. That doesn't work. So, we use a lot of social medias because we want to help more people, and the only way that people that they don't have in Argentina, the only way to get to those people that requires a prosthesis is through social media. It's not like TV or anything like that. They are on social media, and we make a lot of effort to share content that is really good for them. So we create like a trust between our communities and us, and the only way for them to ask for a prosthesis is through internet. It's really difficult, and because of the social background, they use only social media. So.
Interesting. Okay, so you have some other, can we see some of your
Yes.
other
This
things
is
here?
a 3D printer. So this is like, if you have never seen a stamp, this is how they look like. They are different shapes. They are not like the same shape. You cannot create one design for all of them, that you have to create one design for each of those stamps. So that's why we created a parametric model. And this is our current state. In Argentina, prostheses are more than $10,000. For us, it's less than $10. We can custom make the prosthesis. And those two bullets, the parameter size, that's how, if you can have a prosthesis that change its size really quickly, you are solving a lot of issues, because the prosthesis is like large, medium, extra large sizes, and those prostheses get adapted to the user. When the orthopedics get the prosthesis, he adapted to the user. And here we are designing the prosthesis to fit
this.
exactly what the user needs.
So it's custom made for them from the very beginning.
From the very beginning, yes. And this is Felipe. This was our first motivation to keep working on the prosthesis. This was in 2012. And as you can see, he's using the fishing rod. And look at that face.
Wow.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Really?
Oh.
So he was our first motivation. He was the first who got the prosthesis. And after Felipe, we want to help more people. But as you say, something really big happened after a few prostheses that we gave.
Where a young person can learn skills in the state of West Virginia, the United States, and put them to work right here in Argentina. So Gino Tubaro, who's here today, where's Gino? Somewhere. There you go. There we go. All right. Gino. So Gino's a great example. He was tinkering with 3D printing as a teenager when, through the U.S. Embassy, he participated in the National Youth Science Camp in West Virginia. Then he learned the latest 3D printing technology. When he came home to Argentina, he co-founded a company that used these new skills. he received a request from a woman looking for a prosthetic hand for her young son, Felipe. And typically those hands can cost tens of thousands of American dollars. Gino printed a new hand for Felipe for far less. Just a few weeks later, for the first time, Felipe could ride a bike, go fishing, do many of the things that normal children do. And since then, more than 1,000 Argentinians have signed up for Gino's help. So that's what's possible when we work together. That's what's possible when we invest in young people like all of you.
So yeah, after that video, it was a crazy day. A lot of people ask for a prosthesis because with Obama saying those words, it was a really recognition for us and for many people in Argentina. So they say, yes, these guys are doing a good job, and we have a lot of people asking for a prosthesis.
So when was this video filmed?
I think 2015, I think, when Obama came to Argentina after like 50 years.
So you were not even 20 years old yet.
I was really that age.
And at some point, somebody has to reach out to you from the White House. Like, tell us how that happens. That somebody goes, you get a call and somebody says, this is the White House.
No. It was crazy because the guys at the embassy in Argentina, they told me, hey, you want to be in an event where Obama is going to be a speech? Yeah, why not? I'm going to see him. So, yeah, why not? I went there, and I seated like really, you saw behind him, and everything goes on and so on and so on, and Obama said those words.
So you didn't know this was coming?
I didn't know.
Wow. And how was that? Okay.
It was like breathtaking. I mean, it was really like amazing things. But thanks for that video, we have a lot of support and people that ask for a prosthesis, and that really helped us a lot.
So your mother, you owe a lot of this direction to you. What do you say to her after this happened?
She called me crying, like a few minutes after that finish, and she say, I cannot believe it. It's like, in Spanish, it's like, no te puedo creer. It's a Spanish word, really, like, I cannot believe you used a bitch, something like that, she said. But in Spanish, it's a little bit like less rude than in English. So, but yeah, that happened.
We get the gist, though.
Yeah.
We get the gist. Wow. So where do you go from here? This is a high that most people will never achieve. You're 20, maybe just under shy of your 20th birthday. What do you do next?
So we did a lot of things. I'm gonna skip those. Those were like a scanning things that we had. We scanned people, but this is why we don't do scanning, because you have to get the 3D scanner and it's so complicated. But prostheses were looking good. So after that, where we go was we have to keep developing solutions. So we started, as you know, with the picture of Felipe, but we wanted to create a platform. So we got a lot of support to improve our technology. And the idea was to make that anyone who needs a prosthesis take a picture, upload it to the platform, and get an algorithm to translate that picture into the 3D design. So with just a picture, we can create a prosthesis that is bigger, smaller, taller, whatever. And we wanted to improve the technology, because if you have that video, it's like you have a lot of things over your shoulders. So we improve a lot of our technology. We create this kind of platform. We create ambassadors. It's like people with a 3D printer in their houses. And we keep improving till today.
So you're scaling your model. How many ambassadors do you have?
We have 1,400 ambassadors.
Wow.
They are in 44 countries. And they are people that the only requirement to be an ambassador is just to have a 3D printer. And you can download the files over the website, And I don't know if you see the cell phone, but it's like a evil foot. We developed like a prosthesis for animals using the same technology, but we are going to see later on.
You said a prosthesis for animals.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that video in a minute. We'll get to that video in a minute. Okay. So you changing the world one kid at a time. You scale it up. You create these ambassadors. But you're now creating a league of inventors?
Sure thing. Yeah. So the thing that we are working with the guys at the Ford Foundation is to improve Atomic Lab. With the grant that they gave us the last year, we are going to be spending those 25Ks into our ambassadors, to our League of Inventors, where the idea is to do the same that I did when I was a kid, but with 3D printers, CNC machines, everything that for digital manufacturing, and teach the kid how to do that, and to like giving to them what I learned from when I was a kid. So the idea is they can do prosthesis or they can do whatever they want while they are helping someone to improve their lives.
And how old are these kids that you're targeting? What age group?
From 6 to 16.
6 to 16. And how do you try to? Are all these kids that are already like destructing things at their parents' home, or are you like trying to build? They're those kids. But how do you instill a curiosity in kids that might not actually be taken apart?
I think that we can give to them an example. I mean, I'm 23, so the kids, you're gonna see in a few videos. I love to be with kids. So, and what I love to teach them is like science doesn't hurt. I mean, science is something good, math is something good. You can do a lot of things. The prostheses are programs, so you can program a prosthesis. And we want to see a few examples of things that we have already done with kids in the schools. But we teach them how to print a prosthesis, how to assemble a prosthesis. And the idea is that you are not learning because you want to have a good grade or notes or whatever, but because you are helping someone else. And that's a truly motivational thing for them. And that's why we want to do this League of Inventors and installing this curiosity on them.
So do you want to pull up a video of you with kids?
I don't know what I have left. So this is a long thing that I have. So some pictures. This is a Batman prosthesis, Spider-Man, Iron Man. Those are kids with the... And this is Ramon. He was saying, I'm happy. So the idea was, I don't know if you saw the palm. He has a spinner.
Oh.
I'm going to show you guys again. He has a spinner on the prosthesis. And I can show you some more examples of what we have done with prosthesis. He's playing the trumpet. And also, we have Brisa. Turno. Brisa. Vamos. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Sometimes I get a little bit excited. 1, 2, 3. And also, they can write again.
Argentina realiza nuevas tareas gracias a este diseño innovador. Uno de sus sueños era escribir. Hoy es un deseo cumplido.
So these are like examples of what they can do with a prosthesis, but they can also ride a bike. Yay! Using for swimming. Who jumps the rope here?
Pardon?
Nobody? 1, 2. Okay, let's see this. And he twisted. So those are like examples of what we have done with the kids. And so related to the schools and the community, well, those are ambassadors that gave the prosthesis. This is the map of ambassadors. So with the schools, they learn code, they learn 3D printing and empathy. And you can see there are some kids that have printed the prosthesis. And also, this is like a technical school in Argentina, but we have really young kids printing, assembling, and doing the hands. So this is a small video. Those kids were from 10 years, kind of. They had 10 years. As you can see, they are using really big tools. So both of the hand goes to Samuel in Catamarca, which is a city in Argentina. Those are the team. And that's Samuel with both of the hands printed by a school in Argentina. So yeah, with the schools, what we want to do is to help them to use the 3D printer in a way that the kids learn a lot more. I mean, you learn way much better and way much more information if you want to help someone and you are doing because you wanted to do it.
So the Ranger that provided by the Ford Fund helps you get around, but you had to do some modifications to the Ranger, right?
I did, yeah.
Tell us about the modifications you did to the Ranger.
I'm sorry, but I made 6 holes on the roof of the Ranger. Is any engineer that really did that here or not?
We're in the heart of engineering.
Okay, we are fine then. So let me get to this is we 3D print prosthesis in the shell. So we teach people in the prisoners in the shell to print the prosthesis and create it, just to create a change from the inside of the shell to the outside. I like doing this quickly to get to the modification of the Ranger. So, sorry, why we started that? Do you know what? Because this is Santa Claus. Like a year ago. I'm proud to share this video. So why we started to do this? A few years ago, Santa Claus told me that why don't you go in the 23 and 24 of December and go to the houses of those kids and give the prosthesis that they really love to have. So that's a big Christmas gift for them. So this is the last Christmas, but what we did was we wanted to go to many houses as possible, the 23 and 24, but we couldn't go like all the country. So that's why we get in contact with the guys at Ford, because we wanted to go further. So you got it. We want to go further. So the idea was behind all the project was to go to those houses, the houses that the people require prosthesis. That's why we started a trip called Argentina-ton. It's like a marathon. You got Argentina, marathon, Well, I try to do my best with the names. So we started to travel. Everything started with a tweet that we made, and the guys at Ford Argentina said, yeah, we want to help you. So we made the modifications to the Ranger. So as you see there, that's 3 solar panels at the top of the Ranger. And then at the back of the Ranger, we put a 3D printer that was like hanging from a few wood sticks, and we made like a machine that you can pull it in and pull it out from the Ranger. And the 3D printer was printing everything with the 3 solar panels. So we went from house to house printing prosthesis, everything with this 3D printer on the road. We created like a lab, and we call it Manoneta, which is translation. In Spanish, pickup is camioneta, and mano is what we hand in Spanish, so we created the manoneta, handoneta, pickup neta, I don't know. But so yeah, we made a lot of modifications to print on the road. As you can see, we went to really rural areas with the Ranger, and yeah, that's our modifications to the Ranger.
But some of the terrain you're going to encounter as you're traveling will be rough, and it could damage your 3D printer, right? So you came up with a really innovative way to make sure it didn't harm. Can you talk about that?
So yeah, I love to do that. So the 3D printer, as you see there, it's a machine that moves in the axis, X, Y, and Z axis. So if you, I don't know, if you take a bump, the machine will go up and down. And if you move from the sides, or if you go to 140 kilometers per hour, like 100 miles maybe, the machine needs to be like really starting and floating in the middle of the air. So the idea was, why don't we try to create like, oh, it's finished. So why don't we create like a way to hold the machine from, I'm going to show you a video so you can see the machine. So there were kids that we gave prosthesis in the trip. And that's Raul. So there you will see how the machine was printing. And the idea was to be like a bomb transportation device, but it was a 3D printer. That's a machine. As you see, it's moving, but it's like a machine that was floating in the middle of the air, hanging by wires and the suspension springs, like split it into 4. So you have 4 springs. Then it was the rope that goes to a pulley. The pulley holds the machines, and then we have another 4 springs to hold it if the machine go way back up or down. So the spring from the top will hold it to not go down, and the spring from here will hold the machine to not go up.
So you're stabilizing it, like the way the military would stabilize
Exactly.
a bomb or something, some explosive when traveling. I'm mindful of time. Can we show the video with the work you're doing with animals?
Yeah, we can do it. So, this is a future. So, animals. So, that's an eagle with a 3D printed foot that took us half an hour to design and just 2 hours of 3D printing. So imagine that that's the thing that we do with animals, what we can do with other kind of animals. Dogs.
Oh.
So, well, the idea behind that is that's how you feel it because of an animal. Imagine what you can feel if you turn someone into a superhero. That's our idea of the project, to help someone to feel better, and as the same way as you did with the animal, and you laugh and you were happy about that, it's something cool to turn someone into a superhero. So that's our idea and the thing that we wanted to share today, right?
Yes, and I think that is the perfect place to end.
Thank you.